It started from primary school. I was really angry. I got in loads of fights. Then I got older. I started getting involved with selling drugs. I started getting involved with gangs, with knives, people that had guns, girls. Girls started getting pregnant, things like this. And it just got worse. Most of the guys I was hanging around with started to go to prison. And it even got to a level where a drug deal that we did went wrong. And then I ended up with a gun put to my head. I thought that was the last day of my life. Coming to the church, I found support with other youths who were just like me. And they gave me support when I needed it most. When I felt down, when I felt like I couldn't take things no more, they were always there to give me support. And that literally gave me the push, the urge to change, and I did. Because of that, I'm not involved in gangs no more. I'm not getting in fights. I don't even need to look over my shoulder to say, okay, who's looking for me? Who am I going to get into problems with now? Who am I going to get into fights with now? Who wants to kill me? And I'm happy. I'm truly happy. I'm at peace with myself.
This is Finding Answers, a program dedicated to bringing you good news. And many times, we don't receive good news from TV. We always have a guest on who shares their story from how their life was to how their life is today. And tonight's program is no exception. We will be bringing you someone whose life turned around through the help of prayer and God. Now, when we go through certain problems in life, as we always show on this program, we always identify the kind of root of the problem. And there can be many different roots to why a person behaves the way that they do. And one of those problems is doubt. Doubt is a very powerful force. Self-doubt. And when you doubt your own abilities, when you don't believe in yourself, then things start going wrong. Even though maybe around you, you have positive people. You have people encouraging you. People that say that, you know what, you can make it. There are people from all walks of life who are in a position where you want to be in. But when you doubt yourself, when you don't believe that you can make it, that force limits you. It puts you down, it holds you back. And you won't be able to achieve what you set out to achieve. So before we go any further, let's look at this video to describe tonight's topic.
Sometimes in life it's difficult to believe in yourself. You know that you shouldn't let self-doubt bother you, but sometimes it eats away at your confidence, takes reason and logic from your mind, and leaves you with fear and insecurity. Trying to think positively is also easier said than done. The more you fight self-doubt, sometimes the more it fights back. However, with self-knowledge and understanding, you can even use self-doubt to your benefit. Like fear, joy, and sadness, doubt is part of human nature, and it is beneficial to understand it. Try paying attention to how you react to things. Understand the root of your insecurities, and take steps to address your self-doubt. Doing this transforms a negative situation into an opportunity for growth. In the end, it's about giving yourself a chance and really believing in yourself. One good way to believe in yourself is to recall your successes. When you feel down, you will automatically recall negative events. If you find it difficult to think about the good things that you've achieved, then why not ask someone close to you to tell you all the great things they think you've done? You may spend more time being your own worst enemy than being your own best friend. but try to treat yourself better. You are more worthy and capable than you give yourself credit for. Even if your self-doubt never seems to really disappear, you will get better at dealing with it. It may appear when you leave your comfort zone, maybe when something does go wrong. But if you never try, you will be losing an opportunity to improve your life. So why not look self-doubt in the face and say, I believe in myself.
We don't promise that today or tonight what you'll see or what you'll hear, your life will change. But what we do promise is that if you practice, if you hear something tonight that will help you and you move in the right direction, something that you haven't done before, we can guarantee that things will change if you keep on in that right direction. Sometimes your self-doubt stops you. It's like quicksand where you can't move, you feel blocked. So we're here to help you to make the right step to change. And with me tonight is Victoria. Hi, Victoria.
Hiya.
So you were mentioning just while we were watching the video there, that many problems stem from childhood.
That's right, and self-doubt really can come strongly from childhood. It usually comes from children who have had parents who are either giving them negative messages about what they're doing or how they're feeling, or very mixed messages. And what this means is this encourages a feeling of constantly questioning yourself, and then this just gets worse as you grow older. Yeah,
so many times we act the way we are today. Maybe a reason why your child is acting the way they are is because of that parent, what maybe you're doing or saying. And maybe you're not doing it intentionally, but you're bringing up your child the best way that you can. But maybe you are giving to your child, you're saying things to your child that maybe you received from your parents without realizing it. Maybe you are that adult, you are that grown up, and you are behaving in certain ways. And have you actually taken time to sit down and think why you're behaving the way you are? Why you have those character traits in your life? Why you always non-trusting? You don't trust people. If someone comes up with something, already you're looking at the negative side of that comment. And it's with your family, it's with your work colleagues, it's with close friends. Everyone you come across, something doesn't sound right to you, you're immediately defensive. You get defensive and you're questioning, why did you say that? And that can stem from your childhood. So we will be, as usual, giving you the contact details for you to email in, send in your tweets, etc. If you would like some help or some advice, even the prayer, then we'll have someone at the other end of the line. Victoria, what's the contact details?
So if you'd like to speak to one of our advisors, our phone number is 020 7686 6300, or feel free to send us an email. Our email address is help@findinganswers.tv.
After the break, we're going to have a young lady on here with us who will be sharing her story of how her past affected how she behaved. But also, we're going to tell you how she turned her life around. We'll see you after this.
The Chrissy B Show airs live on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, coming to your homes with entertainment, life issues as well as hard-hitting topics, coupled with friendly and practical advice. I love to look at the happier side of life and believe a person can achieve amazing things when they put their mind to it. The Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life.
So ladies, it's lovely to have you in the studio with me. I'm rather excited.
Does character matter?
If you're married, you shouldn't be flirting with somebody else. I'm like, forward and back.
Forward and back.
Roll on the knee.
Relationships and money, can the two really work?
Absolutely.
I think that appearance is important.
How do you define character?
And you want to have that perfect house, but you've got to realise everything happens at the right time.
I've got a friend who puts all her business on Facebook, and I just can't stand to read it.
You're learning already. Do you cook at home?
Yes, I cook.
Mr. Right is just right under your nose.
You get a checklist, but that checklist becomes a shopping list.
But in life, sometimes it's good to be different.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, let's meet our guest for tonight. Her name is Vikisha Misslebrook.
It's pushed me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Welcome, Vikisha, to the program.
Hello.
So, tonight's topic is called believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Now, you had that self-doubt, didn't you, about yourself? Can you explain how things all started off?
Okay, well, things started off from a very young age. From the age of 8 years old, I was watching pornography. I was also, and when I say watching pornography, it wasn't even something that someone introduced me to. It was something that I found out by myself.
How did you find out as an 8-year-old?
As a child, yeah, exactly, as an 8-year-old. As a child, but I was watching basically TV, you know, late at night, and then obviously there would be things on that I shouldn't be watching. But as a child, because everyone would have gone to bed and they would have left me to my own devices, I was there and I would come across it and I would always be watching it. And it was something that happened from that age of 8. It wasn't just like a one-off, it would continue to happen, and it progressed and progressed as I got older. Also as well, from a young age, I was having spiritual attacks. And
we spoke about this on last night's program.
Right.
We mentioned about spiritual attacks. Now, for viewers who've just tuned in and not a regular viewer of this program, please describe what a spiritual attack is. What happened to you in your case? Okay,
so in my case, I would be sleeping, lying in bed, and I would feel like a presence, a pressure in my bed, on my body. I would wake up some nights as well in sweats, not knowing what happened. I'd be frightened. I would wake up sometimes and actually have physical scratches on my feet as well, not knowing what happened. And I'll be thinking, what's going on? I was just sleeping.
Yeah, I was going to say, in your case, the lady, the girl, last night said that she was, if I remember rightly, she was sleeping. Actually, it was the young man actually said he was sleeping. In your case, were you like conscious? Were you awake? Were you in that state of awake and sleeping, or were you in your sleep?
I was literally in my sleep. So when by the time I would wake up in the morning, I wouldn't know what happened at all, because it's like sometimes in the night, if I would feel presence or something there, I would feel something on me. So I would be kind of awake in a way a little bit, but most of the time when these things would happen, I would be fast asleep and I wouldn't know until the next morning.
So when you'd wake up, did you share a room with any brothers or sisters or anything?
Yeah, I shared a room with my sister,
right?
My younger sister. And there was actually times where I would ask her, like, did anything weird happen to you, like last night, or did you feel anything, or did mum or dad come into the room or something? And she'd be like, no, like she slept fine, like nothing happened to her. So then I would be even more confused as to why it was only me that could feel this.
So you never, I don't know, did anything in your sleep? Some people scratch their face.
No.
You know, nothing like that?
No, nothing like that.
So you had these scratches on your feet?
Yep.
Did you feel violated, or was it just a presence on top of you?
Yeah, it was more of just like a presence, and I wouldn't know what it was. And because of that, after it started happening, I used to be really scared to go to sleep because I didn't want it to happen again. Right. And it's like I'd be looking out of my room thinking like, is something going to come? Am I going to see something come in? But I would never actually physically see anything. It was always...
Did you keep that to yourself?
Yes. I never told my parents at all.
Right.
Never at all.
For fear that what? You would be...
That they wouldn't they wouldn't believe me. They would probably say, you know, it's just probably a bad dream. Yeah. And because I was young, they probably thought, yeah, she's just having nightmares or something like that. So I didn't bother even telling them.
So from watching pornography, having these spiritual attacks at night, what else happened to you? So
from that age growing up, from about the age of 13 years old, I had a very low self-esteem. And when I mean low self-esteem, I mean it was low to the point where I didn't believe I could amount to anything. I didn't like the way I looked in the mirror. Like when I would look at myself in the mirror, I would be like physically sick because I would hate the way I looked.
What, you would throw up?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because I would cry as well, because it's like when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see someone who was pretty or beautiful or a young, you know, girl. I used to see like a monster. Like that's how I saw myself. And it was...
Where did this idea come from?
A lot of it was from influences of celebrities, because I would basically look at them and idolize them. I would love the way that they were beautiful, the way that they had everything. They had so much attention because everybody knew about them, everyone liked them. And then when I used to look at them in that way and see them as so superior, I would look at myself and be like, no one's gonna like me, no one loves me, I'm not as pretty as her, I'm not like this, I'm not like that, I'm not that thin. And that's how I felt, and that's how I managed to build so much hatred towards myself.
So tell me, which stars did you kind of look up to and idolize?
Stars like Beyonce, Cheryl Cole. That was a really big popular one, and it didn't help at the fact as well that I had posters in my room, so that made it even worse because I would always every day be reminded and look at them. So it made it even worse for me, and it got to the point as well where I used to actually comfort eat, and it doesn't make sense because I would think that I was fat, but then I was still eating junk food, eating more food all the time. You know, anytime that I didn't have anything to do, I was always eating just to, you know, fill myself, to try and find something. And I ended up actually gaining even more weight, and then I actually did become a bit overweight as a teenager as well, so it wasn't good.
So instead of working to maybe not look like them, but kind of, I don't know,
feel good about myself.
Yeah, feel good about yourself, you know, look after yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be slim. I wouldn't say that's kind of a good thing, because that's how they are, and sometimes they have the money to go through with the exercise and maybe plastic surgery and to lose weight. You know, maybe it's not going to work with your body type. And so instead of trying to kind of work to stay slim, you went the opposite way, as many people do.
Yep.
Binge eating?
Binge eating, yeah.
How did you feel? I mean, you said your esteem was low.
Yeah.
Tell us about how a day would be. How would your nights be apart from not sleeping? How would you feel within you?
Okay, so within me, I would feel empty, completely lost. It's like I didn't know who I really was. I didn't know what to do, because I would look at myself and I wouldn't know who I am, because I would do things by the influence of celebrity and by the influence of friends as well, because my friends were the type of people, I had good friends, but there were other people that were in my school who I would aspire to be like, because they were more like loud, they had more attention, they had more attention from guys. So I would want to be like them, but inside I actually was quiet. I was someone who, you know, was scared. So it came to a point where I didn't know who I was anymore. And on a day-to-day basis, it was like people would see me at school, see me with my friends, and it would look like I was happy. It would look like, okay, she's, you know, she has happiness, she has everything that she wants, she's doing great. But inside, it was a completely different story. And behind closed doors, that's when my true colours really showed.
So how were your marks at school?
In school, I got good grades. Yeah, I would be a pupil who would always be excellent to the teachers, you know, someone who would never cause problems in school, never was really rowdy, had fights or anything like that, but I was always focused, always, you know, wanted to do good in school. And I made sure that when it came to things like projects, homework, you know, coursework, revising for exams, stuff like that, I would always make sure that I did that. And I would get good grades. But even with that, it wasn't something that made me feel any better. I thought, what's the point? What's the point of having good grades anyway when I hate myself the way I am? So
you touched on you mentioned about boys wanting to get attention.
Yeah.
As the other group of friends did.
Yeah.
So did you go out of your way to kind of be rowdy and loud and attention seeking?
I actually did.
Did you get attention from the boys?
Yeah, I actually did. Because it came to a point where I was trying to fill myself with happiness, but by looking for physical things to fill that void that I had inside of me. So I said, okay, let me give it a try anyway, even though I am nowhere near confident, nowhere near being that type of person. I'm going to try it anyway because maybe it will be something that's going to give me this confidence that I need, this attention that I need. So I started hanging around with these different type of girls as well, the ones that were more loud, more rowdy. I started changing the way I dressed as well. I'd wear short skirts, short dresses, showing a lot more skin, and I became more interested in like doing things like going to parties, you know, even though literally I hated the taste of alcohol, but when I went out with my friends, I would still drink just to have that appearance. And through that, I saw that there were more boys that were actually giving me that attention that I thought I wanted. So that's how that ended up.
So was it a good thing for you, or it was good at the time, but then you go home and then everything would come flooding back to you? How was your experience?
Because at the time it was good for me because I thought, okay, yeah, this is what I want. Well, this is what I thought I wanted, was the attention from these guys. But then at the end of the day, when I would go home, it would be a thing where it's like I'll be left with nothing again. It's like the emptiness it's like it would be waiting for me at the door when I got home. So even though I was having a good time, thought everything was great out there, but when I got back home, it was like back to reality. And
how would you come back home to? How was family life? Did it kind of add to your problems, or it was like I came back to like a safe haven?
In a way, it would add. But in a way, it was because, I wouldn't say because my parents or my family were bad, they wasn't there for me or anything like that. My parents, they were very loving, very supportive. Well, I can say actually I lived with my mum because when I was younger, my parents actually got divorced. So my dad was not really around that much. I didn't really get to speak to him as much as I would have liked to or see him. But with my mum, she was always there being supportive. And she would sometimes try and speak to me as well, but it's like when she would speak to me, I would shut her out. So it's like, you know, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And it's like, yeah, school's fine, like, it's okay. And I wouldn't really want to speak to her in that much detail. So when I got home, it's like a lot of the time as well, people were more like my older brothers and sisters, and my mum were more focused on my younger sister because she was more of the problem child. She was the one who was, you know, out there, like everyone could see that she wasn't good. She was kind of rebellious, I can say.
Maybe she was going through her own issues.
Yeah, exactly. She was going through her own issues and problems, but hers was more evident. So for that reason, my mum and other people were more always on her like case, more focused on her, and that put me in the back. So because of that, I kind of had to struggle with my own problems, and that's why another reason why I didn't bother saying anything to my mum. I didn't want to speak to anyone because I thought, you know what, she's already got my sister to deal with. Let me just be, you know, the bigger child, and I'll deal with my own problems myself.
That's a big pressure on a child like yourself, right? Because obviously you want your mum, your parents to be supportive and, you know, be there for you. She would have been if you did say something, but because your younger sister was the problem child or the worst one, right? So look, maybe you are that parent who has children who are going through issues. You can see it and you don't know what to do. Or maybe you are, like in Vikisha's case, you are putting all of your efforts, all of your attention into one of your children and forgetting the others who may be going through deeper issues like Vikisha did. Maybe you are that teenage son or daughter who is going through issues and, you know, you are not, you know, you find it embarrassing. Maybe you don't want to bother anyone by telling them about your problems. But it's always worthwhile. It's always good to speak up. Otherwise, you're going to suffer. If you're not already suffering now, you will suffer if you keep silent, if you don't talk to someone. And if you find it strange to talk to close relatives of yours, family members of yours, then sometimes people feel better talking to a complete stranger. So if you want, you can pick up the phone. There'll be someone at the other end of the line who'll be able to listen to what you have to say and will not judge you at all, but will even give you some sort of word of encouragement and maybe what to do. If you like a prayer, that's also on offer as well. We're going to go for a break, and when we come back, you're going to find out how Vikisha changed, because today she is completely different, as you may already see now, and she's moving forward with her dreams for her life. We'll see you after this.
When we want to reach our goals, we research, act, and make sure we know everything there is to know about that topic. We study hard because that is the intelligent thing to do. This is the same for our development as a Christian. The Faith School is designed for those who want a degree in spiritual growth, those who want to separate time to study the Holy Bible and follow God's path for their life. There is no admissions fee and it's suitable for every level of learner. You will learn how to interpret the Word of God for your daily life and become stronger internally. Do you want to find inner peace and spiritual strength? Then this course is for you. The Faith School, every Wednesday at your local UCKG Help Centre. For more information, call 020 7686 6000 or visit our website uckg.org. One-third of women in the world are victims of violence or sexual abuse. The World Health Organization considers the problem a global endemic. After all, these women are everywhere. She sits next to you on the bus. She walks past you in the aisle at the supermarket. She could be your manager, a friend, your sister. She could be the person you least expect. For this reason, let us break the silence. The Rahab Project invites you who have been a victim of physical, verbal, or sexual abuse, or any other form of domestic abuse, to participate in a meeting aimed at your physical, psychological, emotional, and spiritual freedom, promoting peace to all women who are or have been victims of abuse. For more information, call 020 7686 6000 or visit our website uckg.org/Rahab.
Are you a duck? What can it do? It swims. It walks. It flies. But does it do them all well? Yes, a duck can do all of the above, but it's not known for being great at any. So, are you a duck? Rather than attempting to do all things, why not be the best at one thing at a time? You will find you'll actually learn to be great at more things.
Hello and welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight our topic is believe in yourself. So we've been out and about talking to the general public on the streets of London. This time we asked them, why do people find it so difficult to believe in themselves?
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And
I think you can have as many friends and family as you want. It just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like.
Sometimes believing in yourself seems to be the hardest thing to do. But why? I'm on the streets of London finding out from the public. Let's see what they say. Why do you think people find it hard to believe in themselves?
I think the main reason why people find it hard to believe in themselves is lack of self-esteem, but also looking for things that could be unreachable goals, like being rich or famous. A lot of people want to be in that certain realm, and because they don't find a way of achieving it, they think that they've failed where they haven't, where they have a lot of opportunities but don't realize that they have those opportunities, such as finding a good career or even going on to further studies in university or college, and then using those skills that they have to go on to do what they really could set their mind to doing.
Maybe because they're surrounded by people who are talented, and they hear about talented people everywhere and see their achievements in comparison to their achievement and think it's not, they can do that.
I believe we're being told since we're kids that we have to do like studies and all kind of things, and we can't make it if we don't have studies and all sorts of things and money and all and a job, and we should be more like told we have to believe in ourselves and do what we want to do and go for it.
So we've been talking to our guest this evening, who is Vikisha. She's been talking about several problems that she had when she was growing up. So I'd just like to ask her, Vikisha, could you tell us what the lowest point was?
Okay. The lowest point of my life would be when I became suicidal. So with all of the problems that I was going through, the way that I was feeling, the low self-esteem, I became so down in myself that I literally just wanted to die. I thought, I'm going to end my life, I don't care anymore, I want to go. And I actually took a razor and I slit my wrist, and I would have gone through with it, but because the pain, it hurt me so much, I couldn't even go through with that. So that was definitely the lowest point of my life.
Do you have the marks?
No, I think it's kind of gone by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the lowest point of my life.
And how old were you at the time?
At the time, I was 16 years old.
And you went to end your life?
Yeah.
So despite being or trying to be strong and say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to kind of deal with this and not bother my mum about it, you got to a point where you've had enough.
Yep.
How did you feel? Describe someone who wants to kill themselves, a young girl who wants to kill themselves. Describe, if you can remember, what it was like.
Yep. My mind was all over the place, and it's like I was collecting my thoughts, and despite as much as I wanted to, there was part of me that was just so scared as well, and I was thinking, do I really want to do this? And then all the thoughts that come in, from the past, but you've been through this, you've been through that, remember where you've been from. And it's like I was outweighing the good times from the bad times. And because for me there was more bad, it's like that's why I wanted to do it. And the thoughts would come like, what is my mum going to say if she finds me dead? What are people going to think? Are people really going to miss me anyway? So there's just like so many questions, so many thoughts going through your head. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
okay. You found help.
Yeah.
You got help.
Yes.
Tell us, how did things change for you?
Okay, so when I actually got the help that I needed, I went to my mum's church because she attended a church, and I've always known about it, and she used to sometimes make me go with her, and I would hear the messages, and you know, they would be good. Sometimes it would even be relating to my life, like everything that the pastor was saying, it's like he was talking about me.
What type of things would be mentioned there that related to you?
Like he was talking about having doubts. There were other times where he would be talking about specifically as well not believing in yourself, and I was just thinking like, is he talking to me? Like how does he know? But it was like, it was so real that I would even go away thinking about what was said as well. But then after a while, it would kind of go over my head, and I would like be back into what I was doing, being down, being depressed, being lonely again. But then there came a day where after a while attending that church with her, when I actually was invited to go to the youth group in the church, and I started going there, and I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. And from there, things started changing. I went once, then I went again, and then I started going every week. And I was listening to like the messages that the pastor would say, and I realized then that he said something, and it made me realize that what I needed to do if I really wanted to see my life to change.
Can you remember what he said?
Yeah, he basically was saying like, you're going through so many problems, you're going through so many things, but you're suffering in silence by yourself. And he was saying, if you want to find a way out, if you want to get an answer, why don't you speak to someone? Because as long as you hold on to things, you're never going to be able to find that answer.
As simple as, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
But that stuck out for you there and then.
Literally, that was one of the things I just took away, and it was like, I know what I have to do. I was like, I need to speak to someone. And it was hard because even though I was shy, I was really quiet, I was someone who didn't have a lot of confidence. So I felt like if I speak to someone, like, what are they going to think of me? They're going to be like, what, you're going through this, you did that. But I thought it's worth a try anyway. I thought, what do I have to lose? I don't have anything to lose. So I said, okay, let me speak to someone. And that's when I spoke to someone. They gave me a lot of help and advice as well. And they was able to basically teach me that, look, through prayers, through coming Him more, you're going to be able to see your life changed and to be different. So it's not just a church meeting where you're preached at. There was like that support. Did that person who spoke to you, did they go through anything similar? Yeah, they actually was telling me about when they used to go through complexes as well. They had a lot of complexes and insecurities as well. So I could relate to that. So it was really helpful to find as well that someone had gone through what I had gone through, and it wasn't like someone was just listening and just giving me any advice. It's like they were really telling me what happened to them as well, and there was things that I could relate to myself, and it made me see that, okay, then they were telling me that they changed. So I thought, okay, if they've changed and they've been through what I went through, surely I must be able to change as well. Yeah. And if they're giving me the answer and telling me that this is the way they changed, this is through what they did, then I should be able to do the same and change as well. So we hear sometimes in the news, you know, young people who go through similar things that you went through. Yep. And unfortunately, they commit suicide, they kill themselves, they take an overdose, whatever it was. What did you do to change once you heard that? What was the practical steps that you took? So the practical steps that I took to actually see the change in myself is I started coming more to the church, and I followed the advice, and I started basically using my faith. What was the advice? Give me something. Remember, you're suicidal, you're depressed, you're having these, I don't know if you still had the spiritual attacks. So give me something that they told you to do that could help maybe a young female or male listening now. Well, they told me to basically use my faith, and they told me that I need to start praying as well, and also to start coming to the church more, of course. But the bottom line was to believe in myself and to stop basically putting myself down, to stop thinking that the whole world's against me, basically. And I needed to start believing in myself. And for me to do that, I had to be able to have positive thoughts to change the way I was thinking, because my thoughts before were all negative. I would always think of myself as, you know, this rubbish person, of like this, like that. But from the moment when they said that, and I started to believe in myself, and they said even in the morning when you wake up, don't think negative things. When you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, the first thing you have to say to yourself is, today's going to be a great day for me. And like, I would laugh when they told me this, because I'll think like, you don't understand, someone like me could have those kind of thoughts to think positive about myself. But when I actually put it into practice and I actually started doing that, I did actually start to believe in myself.
So did you actually say today is going to be a good day?
Yeah, I said today is going to be a good day for me.
Right.
And when I started doing that, it was so strange, because I actually did start seeing changes. My day I wouldn't feel so down or depressed in that day. I would be a lot better. And it's like, as things progress, I would actually be a lot happier, not by force or pretense, but because it was actually real.
So it sounds like the more negative you are in your thoughts, even the worse things will be. But as you start to change your mindset, as you start to kind of say positive affirmations, then, you know, you start seeing things differently, and things actually do happen in a positive way. So that's what happened with yourself.
Yeah, that's what happened. And through that, I was able to actually believe that I could make it through things that I wanted to do. Like, for example, with my career, I've always been interested in performing arts and doing acting and dancing and things like that. But because of the low self-esteem that I had and the little confidence, I would never even dare to actually do anything. Performing in front of people, I would never do that, because I would be so afraid, and I would just never even want to go there. So it would always be something that I wanted to do, but because of the way I was, I could never do it. So even through that, I started, after I left school and I started going to college, I actually did a course in performing arts. So I was able to actually take that advice, and once it started changing me, I was able to actually pursue the career that I wanted.
So today, what are you doing now? So
today I'm studying in uni, and I'm studying performing arts. And it's a mixture of acting and dancing as well. And my aim with that is, after I finish uni, to open my own dance school for kids. So that's something that I want to do.
Okay. And have you done any kind of shows or anything like that in front of people?
Yeah.
Yeah?
There's been many times where I've performed in front of, you know, thousands of people as well.
Really?
Yeah, and it's funny because when I think about it, I think before, even if it was like a group of 10 people, I would be shaking to even do anything. But now I can perform in front of
Is there any big
thousands.
places, famous place that you performed at?
I actually performed in Wembley Arena.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. In front of, what's that?
11,000 people.
And how was that?
It was amazing. It was so great. And I wasn't even like scared or anything like that. I was more happy to be there. It was like finally living my dream.
Yeah. I'm sure you're going to go on to achieve your dream of opening your own school.
Yeah, I will.
Vikisha, thank you very much for sharing with us your story.
Thank you.
So look, another positive story, someone who found their answer. And if you are going through anything similar to what Vikisha's going through, remember there is hope for you. You don't have to suffer in silence. You know, Finding Answers here to help you find your answer, to achieve your goals, to achieve your dreams. So if you are having that self-doubt about yourself, the thing, no matter what help you're trying to get, if you're still not happy within yourself, you're still having those conflicting thoughts. Should I, shouldn't I? You know, with the power of prayer, God helps you to move towards the positive side. You know what? I can do it. I will make it. And so we're going to go for the break. When we come back at the end of the program, we'll be saying this prayer to help you to start the ball rolling. for you to sleep well at night, for you to start believing in yourself, for you to look at your future and say, you know what, I am good enough. So if you want this, stay tuned, get your glass of water ready, because we're going to be back for the prayer. We'll see you after this.
All systems are go. We're about to
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Our topic tonight is believe in yourself. So just before we go for the prayer, here is a short inspirational video for you.
You know, in the Bible, there are many examples of people, everyday men and women like you and me, who God used. God believed in them. You may not be a religious type. You may not even believe in God, but I'm sure you've heard of the likes of Moses. Moses had a stutter, a stammer, but God used him. God believed in him to carry out that task. There was Mary Magdalene, a prostitute, who God forgave her. Jesus forgave her for her sins and said, look, go and sin no more. And she went on to be one of the great female disciples in the Bible. There were so many others. There was Apostle Peter, who denied Jesus 3 times, though he made that mistake. But God didn't look at that. God used him, and Jesus actually said to him, Peter, you're going to be the rock where the church, the first church, started based on Peter. And there have been so many others. You've heard of David, right? David and Goliath, a shepherd boy. But yet God used that young boy to defeat Goliath, the problem at that time. So when you doubt yourself, when you don't believe in yourself, people around you, they can try everything, and not even God will be able to help you. So we're going to say a prayer now. I'm going to pray for you who have this self-doubt. You don't believe that you can achieve your lifelong goals. Maybe something as small as, you know what, getting up in the morning and going to look for work. You stay in bed the whole day. You're sitting in front of the TV from morning till maybe now. You're flicking channels and you've been watching this program since 11 o'clock. If you want to kickstart your life, then turn to prayer. Get your glass of water ready, because now I'll be praying for you.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer and include you in the Finding Answers prayer book, send your name and prayer request to prayer@findinganswers.tv.
Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, I pray, my Lord, now for this viewer who can relate to Vikisha's story. And Lord, Vikisha has now turned her life around. She's starting to work towards her dream of opening her own school, her own dance school. But before, things were not like that. She was going through everything she mentioned tonight. And maybe we have people here, male or female, who are going through similar or worse problems. And they don't believe that they can change. They don't believe in themselves because of what has happened in their childhood, because of an incident that took place, and it's marked them. It shaped them in such a way that when they look in the mirror, they can't recognize the person reflecting back at them. I pray for this person who feels down, downcast, suicidal, who feels as though life has come to an end. My God, you are the one that can revive lives. You're the one that can change this person. If only they give you that opportunity. And if you see anyone now sitting at home who is desperate for this change, maybe they don't believe in you, but you know their intention. You know that this heart is simple. This person who would do anything to have a happy life. And maybe that peace and joy and happiness hasn't come to them yet. But I pray that through this prayer, they will see a difference. That things from this moment onwards will start to take a turn, not for the worse, but for good, my God. So touch this person now, whether they're holding a glass of water in their hand or not, whether their eyes are filled with tears or not, whether this person is thinking now of committing suicide tonight or not. My Lord, I pray that you will stop them in their tracks and you will give them this chance, this opportunity that's been given to them. Touch them now and remove whatever's been disturbing them, whatever's been putting them down. If there's been any negativity surrounding them, remove this negativity. And may your positive energy, your light, your presence touch them now. So my God, I pray for each and every viewer. And I ask you, as you touched me one day, you touched Vikisha one day, do the same with this person. And Lord, I pray that they will move on. They will have found their answer tonight through this prayer. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. I bless this water, and as you drink it now, let this be an instrument that God will use to renew you, to revive you. In Jesus' name. So, I really believe that your life, things are going to take a turn for good now. I believe in this prayer that was said. And if you would like, the phone lines are still open for you to give us a call. If you feel better after this prayer, if you would like to talk to someone even, you want to get this thing off your chest. Though we've had the prayer, but what makes a difference is you take a step from this moment onwards. All right? So we would like to encourage you. I would like to encourage you to give the line a call, the number on your screen now. Give that number a call and just talk to someone and see what advice, whatever extra advice that they can give to you. If you follow that advice, it could be doing something tonight, maybe tomorrow. That action can actually take you one step closer to happiness. All right? Until the next time, have a wonderful evening. It's been a pleasure being with you. Good night.